Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. Well, we did a 6 o'clock in the evening. I thought I'd do a 6 o'clock in the morning. I've just walked out here. The fragrance on this little Orangus is absolutely stunning. It really fills the grow room. Not as well as it could because the door's been open all night, so it's filtered. But I bet if I closed the door round it would. Unfortunately, it would also be too cold out here if I did that. It's got to that time of year now where I can't leave the grow room closed up. Why I'm filming at silly o'clock is, one, I'm up. Thank you, next door, rattling around and setting their alarms off. But he's a postman, he has to start early. Unfortunately, his disturbance doesn't disturb me, it disturbs the cats, and then the cats come and disturb me. They love doing that. Just because they're awake doesn't really mean I should be. Oh, that fragrance is heavenly. Anyway, why I'm filming at silly o'clock is this is important. I was contacted by one of my viewers, Roger Owen, who's been in contact with the manufacturers of the Bravado, the so-called systemic pesticide that I use. And the fact that I've mentioned that on my channel, I now have to retract it, and I won't be using it anymore. The manufacturer stated quite clearly that up till about 4 years ago, their product was systemic. But then they removed the active ingredient, so it's now a contact killer only, and that relates to both the ready-to-use stuff and the concentrate, which I use, which might explain why it just doesn't work anymore. Yeah, I mean, a contact insecticide is all very well, but you will miss some, you know, and the chances are eggs will hatch and the bugs continue. They don't disappear. They're a constant niggle, which is what I've been getting. So that explained a lot. What's annoying to me is not the fact that they've done that, it's the fact that their packaging still says contact killer and up to 4 weeks protection. Well, you can't get 4 weeks protection unless it's systemic, can you? So they're misrepresenting their product, in my view. I haven't shown the product because I could get into trouble for misrepresenting them, they would say. And I'm only a little guy. I can't fight a big company like that. But just as a warning shot, in several videos over the period of time that I've been filming, I have shown that product as a systemic insecticide, and it no longer is. The guy in the email actually gave me a link to an eBay product that is systemic, genuinely. So I've purchased some of that straight away, and we'll be using that as soon as it arrives, because I do have a niggle. It's not on all my plants, but I do have some scale lurking on a few cattleyas, and I've noticed some scale on a couple of my little tolumnias, and they won't take it. You know, scale on a little tolumnia can do a lot of damage, so I'll have to get at it as soon as the new stuff arrives, and we'll see if that actually works. It's a problem with the legislation, you know, against the chemical uses. The trouble is the legislation is geared up to our native environment in the wild, and some of these chemicals are dangerous. They're dangerous to bees and things like that. You can't have that. But in an enclosed space like this, it's safe to use, you know. Unfortunately, I can't use it if I'm not allowed to have it, can I? Anyway, so that's what this update is for. Anybody who's used my recommendation for that particular product, I'm retracting my recommendation now, although I'm sure it still works as a contact insecticide, but that's not what I want. I have a much safer contact insecticide, the whatever it is, SB plant invigorator and bug killer. That's a soapy wash type thing. Does no harm to anything and can be used as many times as you like. It's a safe product. But it is only contact. Any that you miss, live. And I don't want anything left alive in here that shouldn't be. So we'll try the new stuff when it arrives. And yeah, that fragrance it's overpowering. It really is. Now, I was told that the fragrance on this is just after dark. Quite honestly, it isn't. It's now. I've never smelt this plant this strong before. Now that makes sense to a degree, doesn't it? Because although this is genuinely pollinated by night-flying insects, probably moths, there are many moths that are still about just before dawn. And also, you would get some other pollinators, possibly, that wake up early. So just as it's getting light, which is what's happening now, the sun is not quite above the horizon yet, so it's just getting light. But this is the strongest I've ever smelt it. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's a sickly, sweet fragrance, so not to everybody's taste. And the other thing I'm surprised about, the camera's filming okay. It really is not light yet. So the camera does adjust very well to light levels. The only problem it would have is anything that was moving would be out of focus, and I doubt if it'll let me focus very closely. Probably go blurry, but oh, I don't know though. Well, anyway, yeah, the camera films in low light even if my eyes don't work too good. So anyway, I thought I needed to put that warning shot out. I don't like recommending stuff on my channel that doesn't work or doesn't do its job properly, and I have. So like I said, I've now retracted it. I can't recommend the Bravado bug killer as a systemic because it no longer is. So just be warned. People rushing out and buying stuff and then saying, "Oh, that Roger doesn't know what he's talking about. This stuff don't work." Well, I've noticed it not working. I just didn't know why. Now I do. Anyway, see you next time. Thanks for dropping by.